Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmitty, Swanee and Clarky visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. We are again.
Well, hello.
How are we all?
Hello.
Good to see you.
Goodness
How have you
me,
been?
time flies.
Doesn't it just? Yes.
Feels like
The last 5 minutes was just enormous. Yeah.
Yes.
So
You
what
might
do you
need to
been up to?
remind our listeners why that is.
Yeah, that's right. So if you've heard the last episode, you'll know that we're recording back to back. And if you're wondering why, that's because both Swanee and Clarky have fantastic trips coming up soon. And we don't want to disappoint anyone by having breaks in our schedule. So we are madly recording over the next couple of weeks so that we've got plenty of content for you to enjoy while the guys are away. Of course, it does buy me some time to edit all of that too.
Bravo.
And we thank you for
Alright.
that.
So, what have we been up to in the last 5 minutes?
Go on,
A
Swanee.
collective we.
Yeah.
A collective we, I'd imagine.
Well-
Yes, I think we've all had a quick toilet break and a quick,
Mhm.
check on the kids. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we're ready to go again.
So we did a wee, patted the dog, brought
Oh,
the
I patted the
clothes
dog.
off the line, got another bottle of wine because we figured that we'll need one at some point, and also we need to talk about what we're drinking, and it can't be the same as last time.
Well, I also had a wee. I also pat the dog, and I got myself a drink because last episode I was on soda water, and now I don't have to read and focus. I thought I'd just enjoy this one. So, what are we drinking?
Well,
Who's going to start?
I think
Go for it, Swan. Oh, go on.
No, go
You
on
think,
then.
shh, it sounded like
Well, I
Schmitty
just
was
figured
about to
because
come
you're
out.
drinking something different, definitely you should start.
Sure. All right. So I decided it is a little bit cooler today, and so I've gone on to a red wine. I am drinking the First Minister by Ivy Byrne, who are a McLaren Vale winery. And I've had 3 sips, and you can tell already. That's me.
Straight to your head. Swanee.
Well, I haven't eaten. Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. It gets worse. So in my 5 minutes, I did the obligatory wee, but because I don't have time to organise lunch or anything, I had bought stuff back from a little cake stand that was at the kids' tennis this morning. So I've just had a cupcake, and I've just added that to having had that alcoholic ginger beer before, which has clearly gone to my head. And now I've just poured a little bit of the next one, which is the hardcore spicy alcoholic ginger beer. So I could be on the floor in the next little while.
What's it taste like?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Spicy. I don't know. I don't have a great sense of smell or taste, but it's just a bit more. It's definitely stronger than the other one. This one, when I first started it, at first I thought, I thought it tasted slightly chemically to start with, but then after a couple of sips, it didn't. So maybe that was just me.
Is it
It's
spicy
quite
like a
nice.
curry or spicy like an apple pie?
No, like ginger, like a bit more kick, a bit more.
Yeah.
Peppery.
Yes, I don't know how to describe it. Tart, tangy. I don't know. You know what I mean? You know how ginger's
Yeah.
just got that ginger taste. I have it in juices and that sometimes, and it's just a little zing on you. Zingy. Maybe zingy's a better word. Yeah.
Nice.
Interesting.
I think that's the least of our worries, frankly. I think it's going to be a bit of a.
I know that we've been saying our listeners should strap themselves in because of what could happen once you have a few. I'm just wondering, do you need to strap yourself in as well, or are you okay?
I think we're going to be. I think we're going to be okay. I think we'll
All
be
right.
okay.
Good-o.
And what about
I
you,
hope so.
lads?
Well, so we are still polishing off the rosé from last episode, but once that is done, which won't be too far away, we are going to have a Buller Wines Calliope Shiraz.
Calliope.
a
I don't know what it means, but it sounds
Me neither. It's a 2017. The HMAS Calliope was
Here
the
we go.
only vessel to
That wasn't
survive the 1889 cyclone. There's a little bit of a story there.
No, I need to know that. What was the wine called again?
Calliope Shiraz, Calliope.
But from where? Is it
Buller.
Australian?
Buller Wines.
Yeah, Buller Wines. It's
Yeah.
from Rutherglen.
Rutherglen region.
No.
All right. So, who are we? I'm Schmitty.
I'm Swanee.
And I'm Clarky. And together we are Trial by Wine.
Lovely.
Nice.
All right,
nice.
Mr. Croc, have you got a story for us?
I rust on my traveller's checks.
That's right.
Yes, I have got a
What
story
kind were
for it.
they?
I must say that
American Express.
my story is around crimes of passion rather than blackmail,
Right.
but very similar format. My sources today are 5 bizarre crimes of passion at avostories.com.
At where?
Avo, A-V-V-O. So sounds like,
avocado, I think
yeah,
it's
like
Avo.
smashed Avo that we spoke about in the
That's what I
last
thought the play on words
episode.
was.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what the play on words.
Smash Devo.
News.com.au, Wikipedia, of course, abcnewsgo.com, and Denise Moak, I think, moak.blogspot.com. So I had a few little sources. Crimes of passions have for centuries been used as an excuse by the mainly male defendants to escape murder convictions. And in some countries, they still are. But the laws are changing. So the traditional crime of passion is to be swept away in the most radical overhaul of the murder laws in 50 years, wrote Francis Gibb, the legal editor in the Times, July 29, 2008. We want to abolish the culture of excuses that allows a man who has killed his wife to say, I killed her, but it's not my fault because she was having an affair. So that's a bit of an escalation. And in some ways, given the whole Me Too movement and where we are now, it's quite topical. And it's interesting, I guess, if we explore what's happened in the past and some of the facts that are evident in different countries. So I'll just give you a little bit of some facts around crimes of passion. 30% of female homicide victims in the US from 1976 to 2005 were murdered by an intimate spouse. So a spouse, an ex-spouse, a boyfriend, or girlfriend. Only five.
Really? Only 35%.
30%.
That
That's
just
a-
seems low.
Well, here's the flip side of it. Only 5% of men were murdered by an intimate partner. Of the female homicides, 11% were by some other family member, 21.8% by an
number that you're after.
acquaintance, and only 8.7% by a stranger.
Because that's the number that you're used to hearing, Schmitty, which is someone you know.
90% of murders
Yeah.
are committed by someone
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
why that number sounds so low. It was just sort of being
Yeah,
split.
yeah,
'Cause
yeah.
that's
It's
what I
the
thought to
intimate
start with.
partner.
Yeah,
Is the
yeah,
is
yeah,
the
I've
Yeah,
never
yeah.
heard that
definition. Yep.
that sort of breakdown. Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
So then the defense of temporary insanity during a crime of passion was first used in United States civil courts in 1859. New York US Congressman Daniel Sickles repeatedly shot dead Philip Barton Key, a US attorney for the District of Columbia, after shouting, "Key, you scoundrel, you have dishonored my home, you must die." Key, something of a ladies' man, had been conducting an adulterous affair with Barton's wife. Sickle was acquitted. Interestingly, about this case, this was a man killing another man who was having an affair with a woman. So it's not that sort of traditional a woman
Affair with
being
his
killed.
wife.
Yeah, it's more like an honour killing.
Well, yeah,
Mm.
possibly. I don't think there's anything.
Not necessarily killing your own child because they've dishonoured the family, but the concept of killing someone because they've brought dishonour to your family.
I just think it's out and out murder. But that's another story.
Same.
Yeah, yeah.
But people use these terms to defend themselves.
For me,
yeah.
like a crime of passion, where I would think maybe the sentence could be different is if you catch someone in bed with your partner. But this is almost premeditated because he's gone and done it.
Remember Mr. Machete? Remember I told you the story of Mr. Machete? That's exactly what happened there.
Yeah.
That was a crime of passion. Yeah.
So then, Ruth Ellis was the last woman hanged in the United Kingdom in 1955 for the shooting murder of her lover. In a final letter to the victim's parents, she wrote, "I've always loved your son, and I shall die still loving him." In Brazil, until 1991, wife killings were considered to be non-criminal honour killings. In just 1 year, nearly 800 husbands killed their wives. Similarly, in Colombia until 1980, a husband legally could kill his wife for committing adultery. Professor Julius Mertis, School International Service, said. Gosh, that last bit was hard. And then, remember, Panama is under Roman law. There is also the crime of passion exception to murder. If you came to find your spouse engaging in sex with another and you killed them both, it would be a walk under crime of passion, but you may have to go to jail for a few days while the investigation took place.
Did you say that was in Panama?
Yeah. Yep.
Like now?
Well, back when this was written, which I think was in the early 2000s, like maybe 2008 or whatever. Whether you love Valentine's Day or hate it, the holiday symbolizes love and passion. However, Swanee, as we know from classic love stories and CSI episodes, true love and passion occasionally become obsession, and obsession can turn very dark for some of us. The legal definition of a crime of passion, and I'm going to say this will be in America, so just keep that in mind, is one in which one party commits a crime, usually murder or assault, in a sudden fit of passionate rage or jealousy, such as what you might feel if you walked in on your beloved in the throes of sexy time with someone else. The broader cultural definition includes crimes of jealousy and rage even after the fact.
I love sexy time as an expression.
As a expression, did you say that?
Particularly
Yeah,
in the
so it sounded
context of murder. We were just trying to have a little sexy time.
Can I ask a question? Sort of related, but have you guys ever experienced like heartbreak? Have you ever been really, really heartbroken by a partner?
Yeah.
And it does drive you crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I'm not saying it's appropriate to kill people at all.
No.
Having been someone who
Particularly
has
not if you get caught.
Well, no, I mean, I went through a breakup that was devastating. I at no point ever thought of killing anyone, though. But
No,
it drove you crazy. You couldn't stop thinking about it. You couldn't stop thinking about the rejection and how it made you feel.
And then you recount every single thing that ever happened, every
what did I ever do wrong?
Yeah.
And how, why they chose someone over you and all that sort of stuff. Like, it really is. I'm just saying, it is maddening, but it doesn't excuse killing people.
Why didn't you kill someone after that?
It's not in my nature.
I
mean, as much as you like to malign my character almost every episode, it's just not in my nature. I'm a lover, not a fighter.
The reason for the question was that I think lots of people would go through what you're talking about. It doesn't mean they kill people.
Of course.
Absolutely. And I didn't feel rage. I felt sadness and I felt rejection, kind of confusion, but certainly I never felt rage. I just felt sad.
So, do you want to hear...
Are you crying now?
No, not at all. That was fucking years ago, mate. I'm happy as.
Jesus.
No, I have a very loving and excellent partner who makes me very happy, and I'm glad where I ended up, even though I did have to go through. I had to kiss a couple of frogs before I got to my prince.
Absolutely.
There you go.
No, I didn't mean absolutely as in you did. I meant absolutely as in agreed I did.
Oh,
too.
but I think we both know I did. Yeah.
So, Schmitty, if you were someone who was a
murderer,
prone to rage,
prone to killing people in those fits of rage, here's a couple of things that could have happened depending on your scenario.
Okay.
So the first one, should you have been an astronaut, NASA astronaut Lisa Nowak enjoyed a torrid 2-year affair with co-worker William O'Fallane. That's a really...
Did you know this, Schmitty?
I've heard this one, yeah.
Until 2006.
Knowledge. I've got the knowledge.
Yeah. Maybe
you're the font.
Maybe you're a crime of passion life coach.
She's the font of all criminal knowledge.
People who want to kill someone reach out to Schmitty to talk through what
She's going back to the hundreds of hours of
what's it, life
bored
coach?
in
She's
COVID.
Like a
murder
time
coach,
listening to podcasts.
He ended the relationship. He then took up with an engineer named Colleen Shipman, which sent Nowak into a jealous rage. Nowak sounds odd because it's Nowak, but I keep thinking it should be Novak because maybe it's a Balkan kind of...
I don't know. Nowak you.
European.
Nowak me. Nowak. It turns out probably a bit of whack happened.
I think so.
Yeah, somebody got whacked.
Yes, whack.
So that's right. Yeah. So she was sent into a jealous rage. Never mind the fact that she was already married to someone else with whom she had 3 children.
Yeah, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
he was yesterday's hero.
But here's the problem. So
who was the astronaut? Both of them?
Yeah, Lisa
wasn't
Nowak was.
she?
Yeah, Nowak.
Was the guy that she was having the affair with an astronaut as well?
Yeah, co-worker. Yeah.
Oh, so they all worked at NASA, so whether he was an astronaut.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if he was
Yeah.
an astronaut. But she actually was an astronaut,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just an employee
Yeah.
at NASA.
Yep, clearly in space. Rather than stalking her
Bowie.
ex on Facebook like the rest of us, Schmitty, is that what you do? I don't know. Or just
Facebook wasn't around when,
or just
when
Bridget.
I was going through.
I reckon I'd just
probation.
Bridget Jones it and drink wine and sing all by myself, playing it with Celine Dion in
I-
the background and
And
cry.
I and Carla can attest to this. Tortured my friends with being sad about it and made them make me feel better about it. Except Carla, I think, did say to me, "Oh, for God's sake, just get over it."
I did not, did I?
Yeah, you did, but it's okay because there was some time passed, and Swanee had a similar scenario. Then rang me and said, "I now get it," and I was like, "It's cool, it's all right, I get it."
Rather than stalking her ex on Facebook, she decided to go after his new paramour. Supplied with a black wig, latex gloves, pepper spray, a BB pistol, a hooded trench coat, ammo, rubber tubing,
That's planning.
garbage bags, a knife, and a drilling hammer.
Okay, I'm going to say this and you're going to get upset again, but the rubber tubing is to tie someone up with because it's hard to break. It's like cable ties, but even cable ties, if you know if you know how, you can actually break. The rubber tubing is a way to stop people from being able. I saw your face just then. It's the rubber tubing is a way to
Is that
ensure
the
they
similar-
can't break the bonds.
Is that the
I
similar
saw-
rubber tubing they use when they shoot
No.
up in the movies?
Yeah,
Automated tourniquet.
they inject.
Yeah, when they
Yeah,
inject.
probably.
Yeah, it's not hard though. You can. I don't think you can buy it easily at Bunnings here. It's a very malleable rubber
No,
tubing.
you checked?
No.
No,
Yeah,
I haven't,
exactly
but
right.
anyway.
Yeah, they're always out. I must say,
So when you do
Schmitty-
commit the crime, we just point the police in the direction of the podcast and say it's all there.
That's right. Yeah.
It's all there. You just need to listen carefully.
Mm-hmm.
I must say, Schmitty, just a word of advice. Sometimes it's okay to say nothing. On the basis that it might incriminate you. Regina Lawless will always say, "Do not talk." She drove 900 miles to confront Shipman at Orlando Airport. Now, to drive 900 miles to meet someone at an airport, like, I don't know how long it takes to drive 900 miles, but it's a long, long time. How do you even know they're going to be at the airport then? And how do you time that right?
Drive
100 miles and
I
would
walk
drive
900 more just
to
to be
be
the
the
guy
witch
who
who met
shot
killed
that
at the
dirty
airport.
mole and killed her.
Airport. Da da da.
Da-da-da-da.
Okay.
Genius.
So do you think they had all of these things, like the rubber tubing, everything sprawled across the back seat, or was it
I
in
reckon
a
it was
bag
in
and
the
a
boot.
boot?
It was in the boot.
Yeah.
It was in the boot.
Yeah,
You
I
reckon?
Can I
reckon.
ask the question? What did you say she was dressed in? She didn't have to drive like that for 900 miles, did she?
I'll tell
She
you.
had a trench
No,
coat.
she didn't say she was dressed in it. She had it all
Oh.
with her. So Shipman had just arrived on a flight from Houston, so she must have known that she was coming on a flight. You know, for me, I would have got stuck in traffic and missed it, or the flight would have been cancelled and not happened. And
Oh no, she's arrived at exactly the right time.
yeah, she's just nailed it.
She's pulled into the car park as the flight's landed, going, "Woo!"
Yep,
Fantastic.
I've got this
Plenty of
shit.
time.
That mole's
Yeah.
gone.
Look, Swanee and I have talked before about why we don't commit adultery, and it's because we're too lazy. I would have just stayed at home and watched Netflix.
It's a fair
I
point.
couldn't be asked, honestly. Don't have the time or the energy or the interest.
So whatever she was planning, and I'm just going to go through this again just so that you can think about what she might be planning. She had a black wig, latex gloves, pepper spray, a BB pistol, a hooded trench coat, ammo, rubber tubing, garbage bags, a knife, and a drilling hammer. Like, it sounds like she didn't even know what she was planning.
Oh, no. I tell you, let me explain. Black wig, trench coat is the costume so that she's
Yeah,
not
Yeah.
she's not
disguise.
picked up.
Of course, you can do this.
Now, the next thing was
Latex
a BB
gloves?
gun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
BB.
that's so she doesn't leave fingerprints. So
Correct.
latex
Yeah.
gloves, no fingerprints. BB gun
Pepper
is
spray.
to hang on. That's a backup. Firstly, the gun is to pretend she's got a proper gun in her hands, so that the woman will go complicitly with her to wherever she's going to take her. The pepper spray is in case she doesn't go along easily, so she'll spray her. and get her that way. Now, what was the next thing?
Ammo,
Ammo for the BB
I'm not- I'm
gun.
not
which is
sure. I
actually
feel
to
like-
kill her later.
Ammo
Yeah,
for the BB gun.
Maybe, but you haven't mentioned an actual firearm. The
I know.
BB gun won't kill her, but there's a knife. Okay,
Maybe
So the
she's
knife-
maybe she's got a good throwing arm and she's going to throw the ammo at her.
I'm not sure. Maybe it was ammo for the BB gun. Anyway,
Bang!
I thought maybe the ammo was like to take you off the scent. Do you know what I mean? That you thought that you left some of it, so it went somewhere else and thought something else had happened.
No,
I
don't
think
it's
she
that
thinks
complex.
if she says bang, she makes a noise like a gun and throws the ammo really hard, it'll have the same effect.
I'm going to assume the ammo was for the BB gun, and then she's got rubber tubing, and
Yes.
what were the other items?
Garbage bags, which is to
That's
dispose
to
of shit.
dispose of the body, yeah,
After
A
yeah.
she's
knife,
cut her
because
up.
she's got to cut her up.
Or at least stab her, yeah.
And then a
And-
drilling hammer.
Yeah, that's so
What
that she
is a
can
drilling
break.
hammer?
Well,
It's a drill that
Is
does,
it just a drill?
so you
Not a
can drill
hammer
into
drill.
bricks.
not a hammer
Oh.
drill, not a hammer drill, not a drilling hammer. They're two different things. I've got this sense of satisfaction. What was that thing?
Oh, it's
called?
like
Not
a
carrying that
jackhammer.
thing,
A
surely.
jackhammer.
Till I
someone-
can get.
Probably can't be a
Not a
jackhammer.
Can't be a
jackhammer.
jackhammer.
No, it's not. It's a drilling.
Because
I
you
think
need
it's
a
she's
a-
gonna
massive
drill her-
compressor.
I think it's a
Maybe
hammer
she
drill.
wanted to
I'm gonna
hammer
look it
drill.
up.
Maybe she wanted to drill her in the
Carly,
brain
you're
or
a
something,
genius.
or threaten her with
Drilling
that.
hammer.
Let's not make it up. Let's look it up.
Drilling.
Well, I was going down when I was thinking about jackhammer. I was thinking, well, if she's going to take her, we talked about people who try to bury people in the desert, and then once you hit clay, you can't get there. Maybe it was a way to
Schmitty's right. Maybe.
break clay.
A
Really?
drilling
Maybe,
hammer, clay hammer,
maybe.
lump hammer, crack hammer, mini sledge, or Thor hammer is a small sledgehammer whose
Bingo.
relatively lightweight and short handle allow one-handed use. Who's?
Oh no,
Who's
it's
doing
like,
that?
it's like
but
a
a
mash hammer,
sledgehammer is like a
Maybe it was
hammer.
to
So
smash
it's
her in
like
the head.
it's like a mash
Yeah.
hammer. Yeah, squash her.
Like a mash hammer, a little one.
Yeah,
Well, I thought it was electric. I got it wrong.
yeah. No, it's just like a
Yeah,
little,
maybe she's just going to smack her in
It's
the head.
it's just. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's a mallet.
a
It's, like
mallet,
a
yeah.
Yeah, mallet
Yeah,
looking
yeah,
thing.
We call them in
Yeah.
Australia a mash hammer to break up bricks and
Okay.
stuff.
Yes.
Right.
that's it.
Okay.
Right,
All right. So
okay.
it's probably not to break ground to
the
bury
drilling
your
was
dead.
confusing us. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe
Right,
it's
got
just to smack her over the head. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm halfway there.
So whatever she was planning to do. Oh, sorry. Before we get into that, what it sounds to me like is I'm going to go there. I don't know what I'm going to do to her, but whatever I'm going to do to
But
her,
I need some
I'm going to
shit just in
have
case.
a whole lot of fucking things. Anything could happen, and I've got all
I'm
bases
prepared.
covered. Yeah, yeah.
I'm
like-
prepared.
Yeah. So whatever she was planning didn't pan out. Shipman reached her car before Nowak struck. That's a funny.
Good.
That's a funny sentence. Reached her car before Nowak struck. Before Nowak
No
did
whack
in fact
here.
Got it.
whack.
There's
No
no
whack
whack
here.
here.
And despite having been pepper sprayed, was able to summon the police who arrested Nowak.
Oh.
So she started.
Was
So
hung
she got to
around.
her car, she sprayed her in the face, and she was like, "Oh, my eyes! Police, police!"
Motherfucker, police!
It does seem like I was going to say Kim Novak. Now I've got it all wrong. I think that
Kim Novak
No-
had nothing to do
I know.
with this.
I know. I think Novak Lisa.
Gary.
She
Did-
does
Novak.
seem,
Was it
No,
Novak
she seems-
Djokovic?
no, she sounds a bit. I don't understand this. She sounds underprepared, although she's got all the gear. If it's
That's
gone
what I'm
down-
saying. It doesn't
How did she manage to call the police after being pepper sprayed? And couldn't
because she's still
police
got a
have done
voice
something?
box.
Yeah.
She probably should have bar mixed her throat so she couldn't
Well, she
make
could have
noise.
stabbed her. She could have done anything to her, couldn't she? What did she do? Just walk away and go, "Oh, it didn't work. Never mind."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Sorry
drive my
about that.
900 k's back. Whatever
Yeah.
it was.
I had a plan, but never mind.
So those several charges were brought against Nowak, including attempted kidnapping, burglary of a conveyance with a weapon, and battery. She only served 2 days in jail and a year of probation. She was dishonorably discharged, and predictably, her marriage ended as well.
I'm confused. What did she do to the other woman?
Pepper sprayed
Pepper
her.
sprayed her.
She pepper sprayed her, and
then
the other
that's it.
woman made a fuss.
She got really soft.
But when
Yeah.
they pulled her up, clearly the reason we know everything in the boot is because they searched her car.
Yeah,
And so
correct.
there's a shit ton of evidence that says
Yeah.
that she had
Yeah, you can do
intention to
more.
do a
She
lot
came
more.
here for a
Um,
different
Yeah.
intention. Yeah.
And have you ever heard the expression criminal mastermind?
She's
Yes.
not one.
That doesn't apply here. Yeah. Like,
Oh, she's cray cray. I told you.
She must be
I
clever.
reckon she's been to the school of law and order and she knows how to kill people with stuff. I just
Yeah.
can't mastermind which stuff to use when.
So I'm
to
gonna
make
bring
sure
everything.
that I get what I need.
It's a first application. It's a gateway crime. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, yeah. Lucky she got caught.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so that's my first crime of passion. Second one is the Butterfuoco affair.
Do you not mean Butterfuoco?
I could mean that.
I think you might mean Butterfuoco.
How do you know that?
I don't know. I could be wrong. But when you said that, I thought this is going to ring a bell. I think I know the name Butterfuoco. Anyway,
Yeah,
not
right.
sure.
Let's go with that
What-
because it looks better.
Well, I do know what. I think the crime I'll be a bit hazy on. That name, I could not forget a name like Joey Butterfuoco. I mean,
Really?
I think, yeah.
It's a good
I never
name.
had a name like it.
Yeah. So
However you say it.
Joey Butterfuoco. And he's under.
Son.
If it's Italian, it is fuoco. It is fuoco if it's Italian.
Jesus, this is just getting awkward. So he and his underage Long Island Lolita girlfriend, Amy Fisher.
That's right.
17-year-old Fisher couldn't stand to share her hunk of a man with his wife, Mary Jo.
Was he a hunk of spunk?
He was
Oh, God,
he's
he
a great
is.
hunk of spunk, Dale. So, in a fit of teenage drama, I feel like this is more than teenage drama. She had a friend drive her to the couple's house where she attempted to confront Mary Jo. When Mary Jo told her to bug off, not in so many words.
That's very polite of her.
And-
Bug off.
Yeah, bug off.
Adulterous Lolita.
Bug off, Long Island Lolita. Amy Fisher shot her in the head, damaging Mary Jo's hearing in one ear and leaving her face partially paralysed.
Oh, God.
She's lucky she's alive.
The story didn't end well for Fisher, who was not only the butt of many late show jokes, but also the subject of terrible made-for-TV movies and sentenced to 7 years in prison for attempted murder. Joey Butterfuoco himself
Thank you.
did 6 months for statutory rape. There's a whole lot in that story.
Oh, okay, because she was underage.
Yeah,
Right, got it.
Yeah. So there's a whole lot in that we could go into a lot more if people want to hear about it. It really is a fascinating one. And Swanee, if you've heard the story, how could you forget it?
It was really big. I'm trying to go back to what year it was when it all happened. They were married in 19 divorced in 2002. The shooting. Oh, 1992.
There's stories about her while she was in prison wanting to get married and blah, 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 and how she was determined to keep her name in the press because it was going to make her rich. And if she was going to do the time for her crime, she was going to end up with a Ferrari out of it. You know, there's these kind of things.
Fuck off.
Yeah, she's
Exactly.
So, again, if you do want to hear more about that, what should you do, Schmitty?
Contact us on... No, don't fuck off. Contact us on trialbywine@gmail.com.
Nice. Okay, so anyone heard about the Belgian skydivers?
No, tell us more.
Here we go.
So, in 2006, a Belgian skydiving love triangle went terribly wrong when a 38-year-old woman plunged to her death after her parachute didn't open. It seems
one of my I don't
Deirdre
have
Chambers.
great deal of, like fears, but I will never do skydiving.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like heights, but I'm not going to skydive, and I'm
up
certainly
there.
not going to skydive after you tell this story.
Well, upon further investigation, it would appear that a male member of the skydiving club was simultaneously having an affair with the married mother of two and a 26-year-old woman with a history of mental issues. The younger woman cut the ropes of her competitor's parachute, causing the older woman to crash into the ground at... What speed do you reckon?
Well, I don't want to know.
About
So
120
gross.
Do you want to have a guess? 120...
200
kph.
k's an hour,
120 miles per hour.
Oh, miles per hour.
which
Yeah,
is closer to 200 k's per hour. Ding, ding, ding! I win.
It is. It's about 192 k's per hour.
It's also
I reckon.
revolting and gross. Yeah. Oh, well, at least she died instantly, but those moments before she died would
The
have been
horror of
awful.
plunging.
knowing that that's it. This is it.
If
That's
you
all.
if you're going to sentence me to a crime in Trial by Wine World, it would literally be that fall over and over again, I reckon. So this story is from 2011. The internet is known as a breeding ground for illicit affairs between people, often hiding behind fake names and handles. We've seen a little bit of this. Schmitty, you did one. What was her name that was too pretty or something?
No, that's
That was me.
Swanee.
Swanee,
Yeah.
sorry. Goodness.
I can remember Janelle.
Janelle.
yeah,
It was Janelle. Yeah.
She was just too pretty.
She was just too
Oh,
pretty.
she was
yeah.
too pretty, and she had photographic evidence to prove it. So, but most such virtual relationships aren't dangerous. When Tall Hot Blonde and Marine Sniper struck up a relationship online, it ended in murder.
Bum, bum,
Bum, bum,
bum.
bum.
Bum, bum.
And not the group of crows kind of murder.
No.
No.
So, Marine Sniper was, in real life, a 46-year-old.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you meant
It was only
an
one
actual
person.
Marine sniper. Sorry, I forgot we're in a chat room and it's all fucking bullshit. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on. Yep.
Well,
It's all made up names.
Marine Sniper was 46-year-old Thomas Montgomery, a married father of 2. In May 2005, posing as a young, handsome, Iraq-bound Marine, he entered a teen chat room,
Ew.
the popular game site Pogo.
A teen chat room, so he's a pedo.
46-year-old entering a teen chat
Yeah,
room.
so he's quite
seems
possibly a
normal.
pedophile.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay. Right. Good to know.
When 18-year-old Tall Hot Blonde started instant messaging him,
I bet they're two men.
then
Old men.
they're not. He just
Oh, wouldn't that be good? though?
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But hold that thought. He decided to pretend he was 18 too. I kept thinking, well, we're never going to meet. I'll just play the game with her, he said. Before long, the flirtation became a romance. Tall Hot Blonde's instant messages revealed that her real name was Jessie, a softball playing high school senior from West Virginia. She sent Montgomery photos that lived up to her screen name, and then some.
Oh.
Yeah, there were some
Ooh.
very provocative poses, he said. In return, Jessie wanted to see what he looked like too. So he sent her his...
Portly, like balding, bit of a paunch.
Yeah.
I'm really hot.
There's nothing wrong with the veranda over the tool shed.
I'm in andropause, otherwise known as the male version of menopause. You know, I've lost my sex drive.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry.
I thought womenopause was the male version of menopause. Because
Apparently it's called andropause.
It's so ridiculous that women suffer from menopause, but men don't suffer from womenopause. I don't get it. So he sent her his photo from Marine boot camp. The picture was 30 years out of date. Montgomery's screen name, Marine Sniper, was a nostalgic harkening back to the 6 years he spent in the military as a young man.
So it was actually a photograph of him, but
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
He has hinted darkly of covert ops and dark deeds best unmentioned.
Oh, we love a bit of covert ops.
Oh, no, don't we? But
Does he wear a meat suit?
Do you remember
Does he
Love
wear a meat
Actually?
suit?
I do.
Yes.
Dark deeds in dark corners, or like
Dark places. Oh God, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
The girl who had the affair.
The girl who had the affair with Alan Rickman's character. Yeah.
But
Dark deeds in dark places.
Oh, dirty.
he has hinted
Dark
of
deeds
darkly...
in dark places. Sorry.
Stop it. He has hinted of dark... Oh, God, now I'm doing it again. He has hinted darkly of covert ops and dark deeds best unmentioned. But US Marine records obtained by 2020 show that although he qualified as a sharp shooter, he never trained as a sniper or saw action. But for Jessie, he invented a younger, stronger, more virile version of himself called Tommy. He was my height, 6 feet tall, had bright red hair, said Montgomery, big shoulders, muscles, and all that.
Okay, Vox poll with just one other woman in the room. Bright red hair. Does that make you go, oh,
No.
yes, please? I'm sorry to all the ginger tops out there, but...
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought many people would go with that. You know, even red hair, fine, but the brightness is what I thought was
I even
stop.
struggled in 50
just
Shades of Grey where he's got auburn hair. I was like, oh, he's a ginger.
Yeah.
It was a
Sorry to all the
Jean.
gingers.
You're
Bloody-
you're a gingerist.
Bloody
I
chutney
am
crutch.
a little bit, I'm sorry. Chutney Crunch.
Yeah.
I am a little bit of a Jean jurist. Yes.
Back in the day, I used to associate red hair with lactose intolerance, and I don't know that
Oh.
there's any kind of fact between that. But yeah, you look.
By the way, I know
know.
some very striking and beautiful redhead.
Well, I was about to say
women.
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 Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have a bit of a ginger beard, though, don't you?
I do.
Yes.
100% have a ginger beard.
Yeah.
That's very common though. Lots of people do
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And you think they're blonde or dark. It's like when it grows out, it's a ginger beard. Yeah. Ginger beards.
Yeah.
Mine's just white.
I like to call them red beard.
Ha me hearties. Instant messages recovered from his computer showed that the online relationship began to consume Montgomery. He said that his relationship became more real to him than real life. The feeling seemed to be mutual. Jesse and Tommy exchanged gifts, phone calls, and love letters. I love you always and forever, Tommy, wrote Jesse. I have never felt this way, Montgomery responded. So the relationship had become more than a flirtation, Montgomery said. There was virtual sex going on in there between her and Tommy,
Spicy.
he said. When Montgomery said the virtual
Sexy
sex
time.
made him feel kind of dirty,
Oh.
he was
I
in
like
too
that.
deep to sever ties with her.
What did you just do then, Schmitty? I just saw you do something. I thought you were going to do some. Now you've gone mute.
You know, I'm big on waste not, whatnot. I dripped a little bit of red wine in front of me, and so I just.
Oh, so, but
it
I
up.
happened to look up when he was doing
wasn't-
something about sexy time.
I wasn't
I was
doing
like,
a rude gesture. I was just recovering a drop of red wine. I wasn't doing a. I wasn't.
That's what I thought you were doing.
No.
That's what I thought you were doing.
The entire audience in front of me, that would be lost on. There is absolutely
Yeah,
no
sorry,
point in me
Dave.
trying to do sexual gesticulations.
I could do a snippet and we could post it on Facebook if you would like.
I was literally just not wasting a little
I'm sure.
A
drop,
drop
of
of
red
red
wine.
wine.
Yeah.
Sorry,
It's
I
very
apologise.
responsible. Drink responsibly, they say.
Mhm.
Well, here is the
Lick
proof.
It off, lick the drip. Yeah.
Lick the drip, did you say?
Oh, she did.
Swanee just said lick the drip.
Oh no! Right.
Oh no, because Stuart always says this joke. Are you tired of the drip, drip, drip of gonorrhea?
Oh, yuck. Oh. You just ruined my red wine for me, Swanee.
Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to start us down. I just thought you were doing
I'm not
something
into
funny.
that.
Oh.
Anyway.
Lick
Right,
the
yeah.
drip.
We
This is-
digress
you know-
again.
I was thinking earlier when you said the online sex stuff made him feel uncomfortable, or it felt a bit. What was the phrase you used? It was like,
Dirty. Made him
it was a
Yeah.
bit dirty for
Feel
him or
kind
something.
of dirty. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, how bad could it have been? But then she said, lick the drip, and I thought,
Oh,
okay. Yeah, I
here
feel
we
a bit
go.
dirty now.
No, but also he's 46 and she's 18, so of course he should feel a whole lot kind of dirty.
When I said lick the drip, I wasn't thinking of that. I just
It was
meant-
innocent, wasn't it?
Yes, it
Carla?
was.
It always
Yeah,
is
no, you
with
love
you,
it.
isn't it? It always
Oh.
is, Rob.
No, but it what? Oh.
None of that's relevant here.
1.5
I would put-
ginger
you would not-
beers, and she's just as debased as the rest of us.
So, she just doesn't know it.
Oh God.
If I was smart, I would have just ended it. But it was like a drug that I needed every day, he said. Montgomery seemed to be losing touch with reality.
Like Viagra?
Well, maybe more like meth.
Okay.
I don't think Viagra's addictive. He wrote a note to himself on January 2nd, 2006. Tom Montgomery, and then in brackets, 46 years old, ceases to exist and is replaced by an 18-year-old battle-scarred Marine. So he's replaced himself with an 18-year-old battle-scarred Marine, and he's moving to West Virginia to be with the love of his life. So 46-year-old Tom Montgomery, masquerading as an 18-year-old battle-scarred Marine, is moving to West Virginia to be with Jesse, who is
Actual
also
Tom,
18.
physically Tom.
Yep.
Physically.
Yeah.
So he's bought so much into this delusion now.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Okay, just checking.
And so he's going to be with, as a 46-year-old man pretending to be an 18-year-old, he's going
Should
to
be easy.
move to West Virginia to be with the 18-year-old love of his life. What could go wrong?
What could go wrong?
She won't notice.
I'm glad you
She'll
asked.
walk straight
No one-
past him
no
at
one-
the
no one-
airport.
She's going to love him regardless because, he's 18 years old. He's very, very battle scarred, and that's what makes him look like he's
Oh.
46 years old. He's aged prematurely.
And love is blind, so
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
it?
She's
Isn't
walking
it?
straight past him.
Fate finally took a hand. In March 2006, Montgomery said that one of his daughters was using his computer when Jesse happened to instant message him. Montgomery's wife, alerted by her daughter, found a trove of love letters, photos, and mementos from Jesse, including a pair of red panties.
Oh.
She sent
Did you
Jesse
not say panties?
panties.
Did you say underwear?
Panties.
It's written there. It's panties.
It says panties.
Yeah, because it's written by Americans. Can we not say
Could be
panties? Undies. Can we just say
Jocks.
undies?
Undies. Doesn't sound quite so dirty. It's like
Undies is fine.
undies. Some red undies.
Panties is... Ugh.
Is
Panties sound like they're sexy
Is-
and lacy.
Is
Undies
panties
sound like they're like
is
very
Where's
panties ever
sexy and
used in a
lacy?
good
Yeah.
context?
It's like panties and moist and multiple
Yeah.
other words that
Schmitty.
people find offensive.
Schmitty, do me a
Yeah.
favour. Can you use panties in a good context?
No, it's not
No.
possible.
Right answer. Right. Yes. Well done.
I thought about it for about an nth of a second and thought, no,
Yes.
I can't.
No, I won't.
Schmitty, can you tell
I
me?
wonder why it is that Australians particularly do find that word just
It's gross.
repulsive. It is. It's weird. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
there must be
Just as a nation.
something in our
A psyche
in our
that, there's
past.
got to be something there.
that
that means we can't cope.
there was
So
a-
where is it? Where does
What
it
about
come from
knickers?
then?
Knickers are
American.
all right. It's
Knickers.
very
So
American.
We
who
say
calls
under-
anything
underwear.
panties? Where did
Well,
it
you
come
have
from?
underpants. You have underpants.
Yeah, but
And
panties.
then
Is it
that's
an American
turned into-
thing?
Panties
Yeah,
just
I
sounds
think
like
panties
sex
American.
crime, doesn't it? Like
Panties.
It's gross. It's so gross.
Yeah,
Like it's certainly not grunty. What do they call them?
Grungies.
Grungies.
Reg
or
Grundies.
Your Reg
Your Reg
Grundies.
Granny bangers.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah. Isn't it?
Yeah,
jocks.
we call them
Jocks
jocks.
for men.
Jocks.
Jocks for men. Underpants or
Panties.
undies in Australia. It's a completely American thing, and I must find I find it reprehensible.
Reprehensible.
Oh my lord! Is it that
Morally reprehensible.
Crimes of passion. Crimes of panties. You could do
It's
that one.
wrong.
Can
It's
we
so
do
gross.
crimes of panties one day?
Ugh.
Oh,
If
I
you want-
start vomiting at the beginning, at the outset of the story. Yeah.
Schmitty, if our listeners would like to hear about crimes of panties, who should they email?
Trybywine@gmail.com.
I bet you get a response to that one.
That was a story about what the wife found. So
Yeah.
in response, she
She sells
Sells
seashells
seashells
by
by
the
the
seashore.
seashore.
exactly that.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
That's right. Yeah. So I wasn't shaming you. I was joining you. So she sent Jessie a photo of her family and a letter. Let me.
I thought you were going to say she sent Jessie a photo of her fanny.
Oh God!
And
Why would you think that? It could have been like she
Oh.
sent Jessie a photo of her family and a letter laced with anthrax or something.
Yeah,
but
probably.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, just a letter. But let me introduce you to these people, she wrote. The man in the centre is Tom, my husband since 1989. He is 46 years old. So Montgomery said Jessie was horrified and broke off the relationship immediately. She sends me a text message and says she hates me. You should be put in jail for this, he told 2020. But Jessie also emailed one of Montgomery's co-workers, a 22-year-old good-looking part-time machinist and college student named Brian Barrett, to see if it was really true. Brian's
what's your name?
screen name is Beefcake. And as he consoled Jessie online, she seemed to find a better fit with him.
Oh, of course she did.
And perhaps a way to strike back at the combat marine who wasn't. Before long, Jessie was sending Brian her photos, and the two had become a cyber item. I've never heard that word before. a cyber item. Marine Sniper became consumed with jealousy, and he wasn't about to take it lying down.
Did he know Brian? Was Brian a real person?
Well, I think they're
Oh
all
my
on the
God.
internet together, so, maybe...
He should be consumed with mortification for his behaviour. Is what he should be consumed with.
Yeah.
What a dick. Right.
What's his wife doing currently?
Divorcing him, talking to the solicitor.
Yeah, possibly. Brian will pay in blood, Montgomery instant message Jesse at one point.
Brian will pay him.
Yeah,
Poor
Brian.
Brian's
Brian-
just an innocent
Brian's
The
bystander.
innocent bloke that wants a
Brian
yeah.
Barrett, who's beefcake
Wants to
wants to
get
get his
laid.
wick wet.
Yeah, wickwet.com.
Wants to lick the tip.
Wickwet.com.
Wants to lick the drip.
Wants the drip licked.
Ugh.
Oh, I'm sorry, everyone who
Goodness.
listens to this show. Moving on.
So his messages became increasingly violent as he was forced to watch their romance blossom in the same chat rooms he used to frequent with Jesse. He was enraged, said former prosecutor Ken Case. I mean,
I think you said former prostitute then.
former prostituter.
Former prostitute Ken Case said
Yeah. Good
he was
Sorry.
enraged.
No, he was enraged. I mean, it oftentimes shocked me when I saw the names that he would call her. Jesse and Barrett took to the internet to make sure everyone knew Montgomery, who recently had a birthday, was a liar. They were then going into these chat rooms and letting people know that he was actually 47 years old, said Case. They almost made him out to be a pedophile.
It almost was.
Yeah, not far
Right,
off
right,
it. Yeah.
technicality,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm happy with that.
If she'd been 17 or 16, but anyway, yeah.
But the IMs that came from Tall Hot Blonde showed her to be torn. Mad one instant, desperate to return to a love with a man who she knew didn't exist, teasing him. She continued her talking to Montgomery online, and here's a little transcript. Tall Hot Blonde, I ache to be with you, Tommy. Do you miss it, Tom? Marine Sniper, more than you will ever know. My heart aches to hear you call me your Tommy. I wish I could be that 19-year-old Marine for you. Tall Hot Blonde, I know, Tom.
So she won't accept him as a 46-year-old married man with 3 children.
But she's still happy to
She kind of
continue
is.
the
She's entertaining it,
fantasy. Yeah.
Yeah, she's entertaining it.
What a dick. Okay.
Yeah, correct. So Jesse took up with Montgomery again.
Oh.
In his mind, this was the jackpot, said Barbara Schroeder, who documented the bizarre relationship in a documentary called Tall Hot Blonde. He was being accepted for being 47, and he still had this hot young girl who wanted him. Montgomery knew he was in way over his head, but he couldn't bring himself to end things with her. It was like a drug. I was addicted to it, he said. I couldn't just
It was definitely
end
a
it.
dick, Ted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dickhead.
At one point, when his wife actually told him to get off the computer and talk to her, Montgomery couldn't. I just told her I'd get off when I'm done, he recalled.
After I finish wanking, I'll
Yeah.
get off.
Yeah. I'll rub this one out. I'll be right.
But once,
I was thinking exactly the same thing. Sorry, go on.
once I'm finished, you can lick my drip, though.
Oh, no.
Montgomery
said no one ever.
or no one took that offer up ever.
Yeah, exactly.
So Montgomery says nothing sexual happened between them after Tall Hot Blonde found out how old he was, but their IMs tell a different story. Marine Sniper, wish you were nude. Tall Hot Blonde,
Oh.
what would you do? Marine Sniper, stare. Tall Hot Blonde,
Oh.
that all? Marine Sniper, nope. You might get the magic. You might get the magic. What the fuck is that? So, in response to you might get the magic, Tall Hot Blonde says, make love to me, Tommy.
Here we go.
I hate that expression, make love, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
It's just bullshit.
Why?
It's just a softening of the reality. Like, just
A
get
softening of the reality.
It is. It's just it's like a Puritan's way of saying
Wow.
let's just
Fuck.
do the dance with no pants.
I feel like
Thanks for
once you
sharing.
change- Tone, now it's like sexy time.
Yeah.
Sexy time is the same
Naomi,
thing. It's like
sexy time.
it's just like it's
It's
poultry,
a nothing.
you know.
That's
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah. It's just
Yeah.
like, like it doesn't envisage the kind of excitement of sex.
Yeah.
I think that's where I'm at
agree
with it.
you. I think make love and all. I find it
Oh,
quite
thank you,
cheesy.
thank you.
Oh, no,
Because
I
Paul
totally
was
agree
about
with
to say, "Oh, some kind of deviant."
No. I'm just thinking.
No one's walking around our house saying that.
You know, hundreds of boy bands and probably girl bands have just been.
Yeah, because
that's
censorship
a safe way of
says
saying it. That's right. It's just a
censorship
safe way of
says
saying it.
don't, Roger me silly.
Nailed
Don't
you.
give me a
Don't
good
bend me
sex.
over the kitchen table,
Oh,
darling.
thinking that
service
Boys
you tonight.
You know the
Because
boys.
you want me to.
I was thinking that Boys to Men
Make
song.
sex
I'll make
to
love
me,
to you.
like we want-
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll nail you to the wall
nail you to
tonight.
the wall.
Oh, Roger, you till you're senseless. You know,
Yeah.
but the thing
And that's
is,
going to Christmas #1 in the UK this year.
I'm going to Roger
I'll
you.
Roger you senseless. You're going to be shocked to learn that it didn't last.
what?
Oh, no, I told you. I can
I
only...
mean, when I say what, I mean what didn't last? The relationship with the other guy, this guy.
The 18-year-old, 47-year-old didn't last.
Oh, shame. Yeah.
Jesse told Montgomery they were through and seemed to take up with Barrett again. Montgomery began to go in a downward spiral.
Oh, what a loser.
Here we go. The obsession turns into jealousy. This sounds like something from Star Wars.
The obsession turns into jealousy, and then the jealousy turns into betrayal and revenge.
Do or do not, there is no try.
That's right.
There is not only two. Only two there is.
There
Always
is.
two there is.
Always
A
two there
master
is.
and apprentice.
Can you tell I
Anyway.
don't watch Star Wars?
Yes.
Yeah, we can. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that,
Your-
Carla.
Your
Yeah.
silence belied your lack of knowledge, yes.
Correct. Had it been a life or death question and someone said, "Does Carla watch Star Wars?" I reckon I would have said no.
No.
You really get to start. You really get a sense of this person going into an abyss. You ever seen Fast Forward?
The film The
with
Abyss?
Magda?
No, Magda
Yes,
Sabansky.
With her
I've
big-
seen Magda.
Her big bosom, and she go, "Oh no, it's gone
Give it
into
to
the
the
abyss."
And they put Barbie in
And
upside down.
Yeah, chairs would go in. Everyone would just get sucked
Oh.
into the abyss, and yeah, there'd be literally Barbie dolls going in. Anyway, and then the tipping point. Barrett said he was going to meet tall, hot blonde in person. Beefy
Well,
Barrett.
sorry, he announced that he was going to meet her on a chat room.
Uh-huh.
What
Yep.
a fucking idiot! But
He
okay.
Well,
go
they
on.
might have been discussing meeting in the chat room. Who knows?
I've never
Okay,
been in a
all
chat
right.
room, nor shall I probably ever. So I just don't imagine why
I
people
have.
talk public.
Clearly,
I
he's
have.
filling
You?
his
I
shorts.
know you would be when you're planning
back
murders.
in the about the period that this was on. Chat rooms
Oh.
tended to be all about people wanting to have a wank while you were
Oh.
sending messages to
Oh.
them.
Oh God! Really?
Hang on a minute.
What were you doing there? I think this is like a.
This
What did
this
you do?
feels
It's
like
like
a
a-
chat room.
It's not a
This feels
confessions
like
of Schmitty.
This feels like a confessions of Schmitty.
I can't remember why, but there were occasions
Housewife.
where I was in a chat
Oh.
room
Porn
and
bag.
it went it went from
Tall,
hi,
hot
how you
blonde.
going? Nice to
Tall,
meet
hot
you
blonde.
too.
And I was talking to some guy
Will
called
you lick
Tom.
my drip? And I was like, oh, well, that escalated quickly. But at the time in 2006, I'm just thinking back. I was in chat rooms pre that. So I'm
Oh.
thinking more like 97, 98. But they were
In
really,
Sydney?
they were,
No, in
before then.
Melbourne.
yeah, they were very rudimentary. And you'd say, someone say, do this. I don't know. I went into chat rooms and I discovered that there were places where people who wanted to have their online sex dreams fulfilled,
Oh.
that's where they were. I remember once with my sister and I sitting there going, oh, look, this guy wants to have a wank. And we just, in today's language, probably catfish this poor bastard, but we were just like, and the zucchini? Do you want to put a zucchini up there? Like, we were just, did you?
You're joking.
No, I'm not.
Oh my
Oh
lord.
my God!
Back to
Hub
the
and,
story.
Hub and I
Oh my
in a
God.
chat room. So my point is that chat rooms were prolific from
Schmitty, you're
mid
gonna
90s onwards.
Shmitty, you have more experience and more like connections to every story than that. Oh yes, when I was working
Yeah.
the
In
chat
the
room,
old,
so,
in the olden days,
oh,
yeah.
just getting guys to jerk off. I was like,
I've
oh,
always
yeah.
been ahead of my time.
Early adopter.
Montgomery said that he was going down to North Carolina, and on his way back, he was saying, I'm going right past your house. I'd love to get together. This is the tall, hot blonde. Jesse texted him back at the last minute not to visit, but Montgomery, who had learned of the plan to meet, was incensed. On September 15, 2006, as Barrett left work, 3 shots rang out. Brian Barrett was found dead in the parking lot where he worked, shot 3 times by a military rifle.
Poor bastard.
Oh.
Police
Jesus
quickly
Christ.
learned of the internet love triangle from co-workers, and when they couldn't find Thomas Montgomery, they feared they knew just where he was headed. At 3 in the morning, Captain Ron Kenyon told 2020, our first concern was talking to Jessie and making sure she was still alive. But when police arrived at her home, they were in for another surprise. A woman named Mary Schuyler opened the door. As police questioned her, she revealed a shocking truth. She was the one who had been sending messages to Montgomery and Barrett under the handle Tall Hot Blonde. The pictures she sent Montgomery were actually those of her daughter, the real Jessie,
Nice.
who had no knowledge of her mother's cyber life. So all of this talk around, almost pedophilia and whatnot is based on a 40-year-old woman pretending to be 18 talking to a 40-odd-year-old man pretending to be 18.
So was Beefcake the only person who was really the only real person, real
Barrett,
age? He was the only one
who
was
got
actually
killed,
representing himself
was
got
the
killed.
real
That's
person in all
Oh.
of this.
That seems fair,
Doesn't
and
it,
all that,
though?
doesn't it?
Oh, poor bastard.
Oh gosh.
And the only discrepancy is the age, because they wanted younger partners.
And had
both of
she, remember, she was the one who was saying that she was 18, and that's why he said
Yeah.
he was 18.
Mm.
She then
Yeah.
ditched him when she found out he was 46 because she was 18 and that's not okay. And then went for a 22-year-old.
But is that why she went back to him?
Possibly, but then she left him again, remember? So what I guess what I'm saying is that there's something super calculating about someone who pretends to be 18, picks up an 18-year-old who is then not 18, then dumps him, then finds a 22-year-old. Anyway, we'll get to this. Let me finish the story. So, Montgomery was charged and later pled guilty to the murder of Brian Barrett. In exchange for his plea, he received a 20-year sentence. Prosecutors said their discovery of Montgomery's DNA on a peach pit found at the crime scene and a photo of Montgomery's family gun cabinet, which showed the type of old military rifle that police believed was used to shoot Barrett, were key to their case against Montgomery. Prosecutors in Buffalo, meanwhile, looked for a way to charge Mary Schuyler for anything in the case, but concluded she may have tramped all over the moral and ethical line, but never crossed the legal one. Shame on her. She not only didn't do anything about it, I think she provoked it, said Ken Case. Unfortunately, in New York State, you have to do a little something more to be criminally liable. Mary Schuyler didn't come away unscathed. Her husband divorced her over her deception, and her daughter Jessie cut ties too, moving in with relatives in Virginia where she was attending college.
What about pretending to be your daughter? That's not illegal?
So that's open. No, that's open to us to discuss shortly. Mary Schuyler also pursued an education. She took classes at a community college in West Virginia. She has spoken publicly about the deadly love triangle just once to the BBC. It was stupid. It never should have happened. I just never thought it would go anywhere, she said. That it would fall off, and that would be the end of it.
I truly think that that's exactly what happens in a lot of these cases. People are just lonely, or they're looking for some kind of excitement sometimes in their life, and then they get that because you don't have to give an awful lot of yourself, really. You're just like being online. You're online anyway. You're probably looking at something else. Oh yeah, get your gear off. Da 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 da. Or someone finds me sexy. So it's sort of like it fulfills a number of different functions. One is it's easy. One, it's two, you might feel like desired. Three, it's something to do. It's like nearly a hobby, I think. But they've been told it's wrong. It's not who you think he is, but then they still manufacture some way to still be together or whatever else. They're not that stupid. I just think a lot of the times they just allow themselves to continue on that path because it's something to do.
She wouldn't
I
have
really
cared.
do think
She
that.
wouldn't have cared that in the long term that he was older than he said he was because she was older than she said she was.
Exactly. So it wasn't ever going to be, if he wanted to meet her or whatever else, she'd just lie. It was never going to go anywhere. There wasn't some big love affair. It's such a crock of shit. Forgive my French, but it just drives me crazy, these stories. It's just like idiots.
Yeah, but she wouldn't have anticipated that he would kill someone.
No, of course not. Actually, I don't think she would have given that much attention.
I don't think he ever knew that she wasn't 18 years old either. But had she said, when she rejected him, had she said, "Oh, good, mate, I'm 40-odd too, who gives a fuck?"
Let's get it on.
The obsession would have ended right there, right? Well, no.
Cooling.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah,
my ardour has cooled somewhat.
But she didn't.
Yes.
She feigned outrage and left him for a 22-year-old who also didn't know that she was 40-odd. Like, it's interesting.
God.
I think she's got skin in the game. He's just, off his chops thinking that he should kill someone for that. But she's not innocent. And how she gets away with it, I don't know. It's almost...
Where did you find that story?
How'd
you come
on the Google.
On the Google?
On the internet.
What did you say at the
did you
start
say,
of the
isn't it?
episode? There was something...
The internet.
No, there was something else.
No,
I
you
was
didn't say
on the
that. You put it
online or
V
something.
Online.
On the online. Where did you get that
On
from?
the
I got it
online. Yeah.
I like the KFC.
Yeah,
The KFC's
exactly.
delicious.
We have a thing about people who put a "the" in front of things for no good reason.
The Facebook.
Surely they'd be a good sponsor.
Yeah.
That was his original name too, by the way.
Or The Crown.
Was it?
Yeah, apparently it was called the Facebook.
Anyway, so choose your crimes, choose your sentences. Who'd like to start?
This last case, please.
Just the
don't
last
take us
case.
through all the others.
Just the last case. Yeah.
Okay. Where the panties come into this?
Oh,
What panties were they?
They were Jessie's panties.
They were Jessie's
Although
panties
they were
that Mum had
purported
sent.
to be Jessie's
Nice.
panties, there's no proof that they were 18-year-old Jessie's or
her mum's.
40-odd-year-old Shyla's panties.
They probably weren't Shyla's.
Either way.
What do they call them? Cottontails.
Grundies.
Grannies are
Nancy
cottontails,
Gant's
is that what
fancy
they're called?
pants.
Well, the panties bother me because if the mother took a photo of her daughter's panties,
No,
that's
scent
like-
panties.
What are
Scent.
photos?
They were
Those are
actual panties.
Male.
Actual panties.
If her mother sent a pair of her daughter's
Agreed.
panties,
Yes.
there was something
You sick, twisted
so much
fuck.
more disgusting about that than have a pair of my old.
Yeah, Mum needs to go to the fucker lock up
every
as well.
day, stretchy, hold it all
Unless
in
you went and bought them specifically,
so they looked very
wore
sexy
them for a week so they
Just
smelled.
don't.
Oh,
And then,
no.
Come
on.
Literally.
okay, we done.
Are we done?
Oh, wait.
That's the pot calling the kettle fat.
Did you just call me fat?
We just
No, that's the
di-
pot calling
di-
the kettle fat.
I think.
Is that from Kath and Kim
I
and
think
what as
so.
well?
call me
I think it
fat.
might be.
Definitely.
Yeah,
we did
sounds
not.
like it.
We did
Sounds
not.
good.
That's why I eat KFC. It's probably a fair call. All right. So, from a perpetrator perspective, we've got Marine Sniper and
Tall, hot blonde.
Jessie Mum Point One. Well, tall blonde is just tall blonde. She's
Tall,
just,
hot blonde. It's not just tall
Oh,
blonde.
she might have been. She's just 40-something. 40-something women can be hot too. Be yourself then.
Just be yourself. For fuck's sake. Yep.
Just put your own person out there. Don't pimp your daughter in a virtual. Well,
Yeah,
That's
no, I
exactly what
agree.
you do.
I agree.
Exactly.
I'm
You're totally
with you on
right.
that.
You are totally right.
yeah, in a virtual sense, that's gross.
Virtual pimp. I think we've come up with another name, another new thing. What was the other one that you came up with before? That relationship comment that you had, Clarky. There was something you said you'd never heard.
Oh, I was
Too long.
it was cyber item.
Cyber item. Well, this sounds like one of those.
We're a cyber item. What?
It's a non-existent thing.
Correct.
A cyber item is a fake item. I'm calling it for what it is, a nonsense. Don't be stupid, people. I've got an issue with Idiot Face for being there in the first place, pretending he was something other than what he was.
Idiot Face being Marine Sniper.
Yeah.
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 Marine Sniper should have dealt with whatever it was that made him unhappy in his current relationship with his wife and 3 children. Perhaps left them or done something instead of just saying, I'm going to retreat into a completely fake world and then get myself so sucked into it that I'm going to kill someone.
Yeah.
So, okay, so I'm going to send Marine Sniper's wife and children to a perpetual resort. Oh, I'm sorry if I.
You're very. Look, I've written my notes down here. I've got what I'm doing. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry.
Oh no.
No, I want
It's close. I think we're getting
I
close.
want to send them somewhere where they are comfortable, happy. They're not doing all the work. They're just living their best lives, and they're good.
Could I perhaps chime in and we can do a dual sentence?
Yeah, please.
So the only thing that I thought
Yeah,
I'd
go,
like
go.
to add to that. So I wanted him, Marine Sniper, to have to see his wife, perhaps remarried, but certainly repartnered with a man who was young, virile, handy, and a brilliant husband and stepfather to his kids, so that he saw how good life could be and that what they got. So
And what he
that
wasn't.
would be him suffering. Yeah, just because he was so focused on getting his cheap thrills with a young girl, whereas he sees his wife as for what she, I don't know that she was attractive, but in a relationship where she's at her
She's
absolute
attractive
best,
when
the
she's with
children
a
are-
really hot
yeah,
man.
exactly,
And pulling it.
The children are happy because the new stepfather is present. So it's sort of like a real kick in the guts. It's like, okay, you couldn't prioritize any of that over just becoming,
You
into
dick.
his descent into madness, correct? So that would be what I would do as a punishment, seeing his family absolutely thrive. Oh, no, I mean wife and children, without him, with a man who was present and owned his age and was great looking and everybody adored.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So
I'm all right with that.
measure, yes.
I suppose I sent them to a resort because I think you can thrive
in a
without
beautiful
a
place
man.
like a resort. Yes.
And maybe his wife's done with that. So it's her.
True.
Let's say she
Good
gets
point.
to choose either of those. She gets to choose. She gets to
Yep.
choose whatever she wants. She gets whatever she wants. So in Trial by Wine World, she is in some absolutely specky place with either multiple hot men that she can shag, one hot man she can shag. Anyway, it's all up
Whatever
to
she
her.
likes.
It's
I like
all
that.
up to her. Yeah.
Yeah.
As for the bloke, I kind of feel like he's tortured a lot by whatever it is that he thinks puts him in a situation where he goes for an 18-year-old. The whole thing's fake. Like it's everything about it is not real, and yet he gets so obsessed with it. There's something wrong with him, right? I'm just gonna maybe pop him somewhere. I think he needs to go in a cooler. I think he needs to go to Trial by Wine's Arctic Centre and be in the cooler for a bit.
Arctic Centre.
Yeah, well, there's a really cold place. In
Are there
Trial by
polar
Wine.
bears?
It's colder
there?
than every other
Can there
Arctic
be, like,
Centre.
yeah.
It's very cold.
Polar bears that will slash him if he makes a wrong move.
He needs to cool his jets. He needs to recognize, and maybe in cooling of his jets, he will recognize that he had a fantastic family and a lovely wife, and maybe he'll pop in and she'll say, "Not today. Go away again." While she's in resort land with all the hot men who all want her. But I think he has to go cool his jet.
I gotta find
And
out that.
as for Jessie, Jessie's done nothing wrong. She's absolutely fine. And as
Yeah.
for Jessie's mum, I think she needs to have a pair of red panties stuffed in her face, in her mouth, until she can speak the truth.
Wow.
That's me, in a nutshell.
What was Jessie's mum's name?
Schneider, Mary Schuyler.
Mary Charlotte,
Mary.
not Jessie's mum.
I
I
was-
wish
I was
that
trying
I
to
could
think
have
of
been
that, but I was-
Jessie's mum.
Mum. How do I find a child like that?
Oh,
On a chat room.
No.
Don't.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I sort of have obviously sort of joined in with Schmitty on the Tom punishment, and mine was more about him having to see the success of his family. With the mother, I don't know. She just strikes me as a really pedestrian, probably middle-aged woman who spends her whole life online.
Yeah, but
You know what I mean?
imagine
She's spending
pimping out your children.
Correct. But I bet you she wishes she was younger, hotter, all those things that, like a daughter, living vicariously, using photos of a daughter. I mean, that's
My daughter
really
is 50%
beyond
my
unhealthy.
genetics, and therefore it's appropriate for me to say
yeah.
that's what I looked like when I was young. Yeah.
Yeah. So the only hell that I think I could put her into is probably the hell that is middle-aged menopause, where she's become invisible to the opposite sex or anybody really, where she's just aging like a demon. And she's
Where we
just
are
a
right now.
misery. Yeah.
God.
That's punishment enough, is it not, Schmitty? It's punishment for someone who's trying
Fuck
to
yeah.
pretend
It's
and filter her
torturous.
life
Yeah,
to be something
uh-huh.
else. I think she is just
It
going,
hurts.
let's just make it a bit real,
Mhm.
hey? Let's just put you exactly where you're supposed to be.
You don't exist
Yeah.
anymore. You're not
No,
sexual.
you're irrelevant.
You're irrelevant because we never thought you were smart to start with. So shush, be gone. Correct.
Clarky and Stu are looking at us going,
Wow.
Well, that's the joy of being
wind it down a little.
homosexual
Clarky's
males
like
at the same age. They don't
shaking
have
his head.
what we have to deal
No.
with. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So,
maybe
yeah,
we
that's
just deal with
all
it
I can come up
better.
with.
Who knows? But anyway.
Oh yeah. Don't start me.
Never would. Always do.
What's your punishment, Clarky?
Are you both done?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I think that the only difference between Tom and Mary is that he murdered someone and she pimped out her daughter. So when we're talking about him being sentenced and her and his family being rewarded, I think exactly the same in reverse for her, right? So she had a family as well. Her family should absolutely be rewarded because she was the one who was exactly like him. They both pretended they were 18. Her first, he stated that he pretended he was 18 because she said she was 18 and she actually wasn't. So that at that level, they're both the same. She then needs a sentence for pimping out her daughter, which I find disgusting. I just don't get it. You know, I know people who are parents who actually try to protect their child's image online and do everything they can because they don't want that. And then she's out there doing that. I find that repulsive, and I think that a lot of people who are parents would be disgusted
100%
by that.
it's disgusting.
I
And gross.
I hope they would be. So she has a level of punishment for that I probably need to think about a little bit. None of that excuses him for thinking that he has a right to kill someone because he's in this crazy charade. I guess at least his wife came out and said that he was as old as he was. She still pretended the charade after that. Mary didn't say, well, me too, I'm catfishing the world.
Yeah, it's gross.
So there's
Well,
another
she didn't
level
have to
there.
say anything. She could have just said nothing. She could have just exited quietly.
No,
Yeah.
but she shouldn't have continued the charade and played
Exactly.
back
And
at
said,
him.
"Oh,
And
I'm the victim here." Yeah.
So in the grand scheme of murder, she's got skin in the game. I don't think it's anywhere near. She should never have expected that out of all of that, someone would get murdered. But she should have just pulled away and gone, well, you know, I either said, you know what, me too, and let's get it on, or I'm not, and just that's it, we're done. But she probably lingered a little bit longer than she should have. So I think most of all, Brian Barrett is the victim here. Brian Barrett and Jesse, I feel really
sorry for.
That's all right. No, I was waiting for you to finish banging. I feel sorry for both of them because of obviously he died being completely innocent and having nothing to die for. And Jesse, God, imagine your mum pimping you out online. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, he
See it as a
Oh, yeah, I
compliment,
know, right?
darling.
But you're so hot.
Yeah, but psychologically,
Yeah.
she would have said, "I'm not pimping you out. I'm just pretending to be you."
None of that. Like, I can't.
Doesn't justify it. No, I know.
We can
but-
talk about that all we want. It's just disgusting behaviour that a mother should never do to her
Really fucked
child.
up. Yeah,
So,
poor baby.
Euthanize her.
I don't know. She needs, well, maybe him. I think she needs a good sufferance. Yeah, if we don't like to use the C word here, but the female version of a nut punch would, I think, be appropriate, and possibly female nut punch city limits, if we could bring
There's a song?
bring that song into reality. She could go
So
a
what
lot
would
of
we
them.
call that, Carla? Like if we're going to give it a new,
Oh,
well,
no, I don't.
You know, like a
No.
pubis punch.
I will not be drawn.
I'm thinking like more
A pubis.
A
A mon pubis.
A
mon-
Mont pubis punch. That's exactly what we got to call it.
I like
That's
that.
it.
We'll call it.
not
We'll
as
call it
That's
a
it.
mon
catchy as
pubis
a nut punch.
It sounds much
but
more
yeah,
ladylike.
pubis punch. Yeah.
I think
Mon
it's very
pubis
catchy.
punch.
I think it's a very
MP punch.
And-
An
a mon
MP punch.
pubis punch.
And then if we take it back to the original story with Kai Fortune and the strap to the knee,
The knee.
like, what if it was like that kind of a punch, but with a dildo attached? Like that
Well,
would
that's what it was with them.
that would hurt a lot, wouldn't it? Like, because it's got to hurt. It can't just be contact.
If you've ever been
No, I
punched
haven't.
in or kicked in the mon pubis, it hurts.
Okay,
Trust me, it hurts.
equally like nuts.
I don't know, I don't
mean,
have
none of us
nuts.
can.
Yeah.
If
As
anyone,
much as everyone
nuts are
likes
a
to
killer.
tell me I've
But
metaphorically got nuts, but I don't.
if
So-
if any of our listeners do know, or imagine if you're
transgender.
hermaphrodite and you've got both, which bit hurts
Yeah.
most?
Oh,
If you get
could you email us at?
where would you email us at?
I don't even want to get into the discussion of how that's not equal.
No, what I'm
the
saying
penis
is if-
and balls are up front, they're going to get hit more likely than the back end, which is
Yeah.
the vagina. So I don't think a
Hence,
hermaphrodite can really answer that question.
well, look, they can better than any of us. God, let's just.
Well, they would know what it's like to have both sets of genitalia.
And if they got
Anyway.
kicked in the Mont Pubis,
pubis,
Yeah.
not the mont pubis, it's not
Mon.
the mount of pubis.
I thought it was like a mount.
It's not the mont pubis,
No,
it's the
mon.
mon pubis. He doesn't even know what our parts are called, Carla. Anyway, Trust
I haven't used
me,
the
it
mon
hurts
pubis
a
for while,
lot.
Don't worry about that.
it does hurt a lot. But I don't know. I don't think I've ever fainted from it, and I think men can faint from being kicked.
Oh,
in the
God,
nuts.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's,
Yeah, I
it
think
is
it's
different.
different,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's different. So we have to think about.
But doesn't a titty punch hurt really bad as well?
Yeah, they
Oh,
hurt.
I tell
No,
you
I've
what,
never-
when our friend from the UK falls over and bruises her tits, that
I know,
looks pretty
right? She
fucking
doesn't like it
painful.
at all.
How
What?
did she do
Yeah.
it exactly? So like she's got like an ongoing issue.
Oh, she
here I go
got
again.
drunk
Oh,
and
no.
fell over, and
Oh, wow.
Her tits were
bruised.
black.
bruised,
They were so black,
black.
and purple.
Oh, I've never
Yeah.
ever
Gosh.
heard of it.
She really broke some ribs. It sounds dangerous.
She showed us, and we're, oh my God,
They were awful.
fucking hell!
Yeah,
Oh
well,
my
like
God.
any extremity that falls in front of anything else will get hurt. Okay.
All right,
Alright,
so
so-
he needs to just go. I don't want him anymore. He should go into a cloudy pool in
Massachusetts.
well, it could be anywhere. I don't need to put a geography on it, but he should go in there without being able to swim and sit at the bottom of the pool for days before he's discovered, because
has
he's
to be Massachusetts
awful.
then.
Well, no, I don't.
Doesn't he know? Well, wouldn't it be better for him to be in Trial by Wine World in like a cell somewhere where all he has is a computer and he spends his whole time talking to you, who's pretending to be someone else, and just winding him up?
No, because that'd be a waste of my time. I just want him gone.
A you
know?
like person. A
Are you
troll.
like
I-
person?
like
A
literally
troll.
A troll.
Oh,
Are you
because
like
like
person?
yeah,
Oh, man, yeah,
exactly, yeah,
OG
yeah.
What do you want to do
OG
with
troll.
a zucchini?
Schmidt,
Because like
we've just realised that Shmi and her sister were the
Yes.
OG trolls.
Oh, I probably was. We have a race of people who are prepared to do what we ask them to. What do you want them to do? Be
Bash the
troll.
shit out of
oh
him.
no, I just want him gone. I don't want him to be anymore. I don't know how to make
I
it
think
happen.
I think that's really harsh for his children. I think he.
I don't
got
care.
s-
I
Well,
don't
Beat him.
care.
I'm going to challenge you. I think he got sucked into a fake world that he couldn't tell the difference between.
Her children. Yeah.
Yes, he could. I just
But he didn't know that he
he
was
went
talking
in
to
there-
someone
Oh.
who was someone's mother.
who was 18.
Come
It didn't
on.
matter. He was doing the wrong thing to start with. He just believes what he
Regardless of
wants
how
to believe.
old
It's like everybody
he
online.
was or she
You
was or
guys
whatever,
are so judgy.
she.
Yeah.
I don't
It's too good
know.
to be true,
I just think
probably is.
the whole story is ridiculous.
Isn't that
But
the
the fact
concept
that
of the
it ends
podcast?
in murder
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
You're so
absurd. Yeah, that's exactly 100%.
That's the tagline.
You're so judgy.
You're so
Yeah, that's
judgy.
right.
Judgy McJudgy. That's what we do. Yeah.
No, but the whole thing is ridiculous, right? And I'm happy with that. But he somehow found a reality within that ridicularity
Which
that
justified
says,
him killing
I need to
someone.
kill someone. Like,
Ridicularity.
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
Just get,
Step away from it.
Be gone.
just, yeah, whatever it is, whatever that looks like, just no longer.
Okay, so
that-
can we put him in null world? Can we create null world?
Yes.
It's just like a nullness.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's just there in
We
the
can
null
annul. Oh, it probably
Null
comes
and
back to
void.
banishment. Remember, we spoke
Yeah,
about banishment
yeah,
a
yeah,
while
yeah,
back.
yeah.
I think I want to banish him from.
Oh, that's on the back.
Yeah,
row,
yeah,
isn't it?
exactly.
Oh,
Right.
yeah,
Out
it's
the
way
back.
out past the toilets.
I think I've
Past
sent somebody
peasant
there, but I
world.
can't remember who.
Yeah,
I've
like-
sent a number of people out there. He'll have
Sometimes
company
you crawl
out there.
through that
Dark
little
lands.
hole and just
Yeah.
go, "Oh my god, where am I? And how do
Yeah.
I get back?" There's no
It's
getting
the
back.
Darklands.
You
Yeah,
are
yeah.
gone, mate.
All right.
So, yeah,
he's out there.
He's
Yeah.
gone. Her. So when you talk about do you feel for the children? For
His children, I mean.
no, yeah, no. But what I'm saying is, I feel for Jessie because I feel like Jessie's been violated by her own mum, and
100%.
that's gross. Her mum didn't kill anyone. Her mum should never ever have seen that murder was coming in this, and so I don't want to hold her as accountable, but I think I don't know. Maybe she should just probably be trolled by the likes of you and your sister Schmitty. I think that's probably a good one.
She has to wear a pair of lace red panties on her head. No matter where she goes. So everyone's go, that's the panties lady. That's
The
the
sign
Yep.
of the,
Yeah.
the mother
that's the
pimp.
Mother
mum
pimp.
pimp
Mother
sign,
pimp.
yeah.
Can she have a
Mother pimp,
tiara
yeah.
that instead of a crown says "I pimped my daughter" or something?
Yeah. On top of
No, I
the
think she doesn't even
panties.
need that. It's just the red undies where my kids put it where the eyes come out through
Oh,
there. And
no.
they just put their
But
undies on, they're little. That is
But
the
if
mother
you,
like a mask.
if you saw
The
that,
red pimp. Oh no,
She's
it's cover
like
her
a
face.
wrestler,
You don't want that.
only she doesn't wrestle. She's just
Yeah.
wearing
pimps her
red
daughter.
panties.
But if you,
Yeah.
but if
Pimp
you
mum
saw
with a
that, would
cape.
you know what it was?
The anti-hero.
Like there needs to
yeah.
be.
A
No,
campaign.
there'll be
There needs
there'll
to be a campaign.
There'll be a public
Yeah, that's
information
right.
campaign.
Yeah,
There
that's
will be.
okay then. Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
worry, there'll be a whole
When you
national
see
campaign
this
that goes
woman,
alongside with it.
That's what this means. Yeah.
The sign of the mother pimp is like
Right.
a red
As long as
pimp,
everyone
like,
knows,
on their
then
head.
yeah.
Mhm.
You have to wear your daughter's
Yeah.
underpants that you
You
sent to
filthy
an
fuck.
old
Yo,
man.
Yeah.
dirty
Yes, you have to wear-
bastards.
They're on all the time. They never come off. They become
Head.
part of your.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
In fact, you lose your hair
Nice.
and they get infused with your scalp. That's
And
right.
what was that punch she needs as well?
Dirty old.
A Mon Pubis punch.
A Mon
Yeah.
Pubis.
Yeah, I was going to go with a
MPP.
I was nearly going to go with a Mont Blanc punch. I'm like, no, that's not it. That's like
Who
a
in the
pen.
mountains?
That's a pen.
Yeah, and it's a mountain. So
It
it's
is.
a,
Agreed.
This is an MPP. It's a Mon Pubis punch.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Mon
Yeah.
Pubis
All right.
punch.
Well, that was quite the tale of passions, crimes of passions.
Back to it's like we've had a trial by wine
That,
marathon.
that was like a tale of when shit gets real. Because it was a whole lot of shit and then someone
And they
got
got
murdered.
killed.
Like,
Yeah, and someone got
what?
killed. Yeah, yeah,
right
yeah.
at the end, yep.
Yeah.
Quite right.
That might be that
When
might be what
shit
you
gets
call it,
real.
you know, shit
Yeah.
get real.
Yeah.
All right.
People get people get murdered. Yeah.
Well played, Clarky. Thank you very much. And
Good story,
it
I
was a
enjoyed
good
that.
story, and it was a good intro too. Yeah,
Set
so
up.
well done. As every other week, and I know that this is true. I will miss you all the time, but I especially miss you already.
We'll miss you more.
Oh my god, you're actually young.
I know.
Love you
I do my
guys.
best.
Close your
do my best to sound
eyes
like
and
a
I'll
bad
kiss
kid.
you. Tomorrow I'll miss you.
I'll
And I'll
miss you.
say
And I'll talk to you
Oh, my
next
love
Friday
to
when
you.
we're
Love
Okay. Bye.
Mwah!
Okay.
Miss you already.
Bye. Ciao.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review, and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.